All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to our show. We ain't got a name yet. We're gonna be talking about sports, but we'll let y'all know what our name is. At least, hopefully, by episode 75, we'll have a name by then. But we're just gonna be here. We're gonna talk about since the NFL is going on right now. We're gonna be talking about some football. In the future, we'll talk about some basketball. I promise you, we won't talk about baseball. I probably won't talk about soccer,
Oh,
but
we might throw golf in there though. U.S.
we
Open.
definitely got to talk about a
We're
little
gonna
bit
throw
of golf.
golf in there.
But hey, it's the start of the NFL season with COVID and everything going around. We didn't know what was going to happen if we were going to have a season. Jerry Jones said, he was going to have a full pack stadium and everything, even though the Cowboys didn't have a week one game. And lo and
Hmm.
behold, the only two stadiums that had fans were the Chiefs and the Jaguars. Like, how did it feel for you watching games with absolutely no fans minus those two games?
It was, it was awkward to say the least, honestly, because the fans are a big part of the game. Like watching a team trying to do hard counts with no fans, like on 4th and 1, and like the D line just looking like, bro, we can hear everything. Like
Exactly.
we hear you saying freeze, so obviously y'all aren't running the play. So like it was just that was awkward. Big hits, like interceptions, like no reaction, or like the pumping crowd noise was late. I'm like, this is
It was
bad.
it was weird. I think I was watching the Vikings and Packers game, and the announcer he was like, "Oh, they must be having some type of miscommunication, but it can't be due to the fans, so it has to be some type of product or equipment malfunction or something." And I was like, "Geez, like it's gotta be hard for them too, because they're used to having to wait for the fans to either be quiet or moving to certain areas, and like they can feed off the energy, and they're just up there basically announcing a practice. Like these are basically like those preseason scrimmages when teams go up against one another. They just count. Like that's it.
Yeah, I thought defenses were gonna struggle more without the fan noise to kind of like
Mm-hmm.
slow the offense down, but I think kind of the preseason balanced that out with like offense wasn't really in tune, so they really couldn't take that advantage. Like I
Yeah.
thought they were gonna.
Before we talk about our teams, that was the last thing that I think I realized and kind of figured out. We don't need four preseason games, but we need
At
at
all.
least two
You
preseason
need two
games.
for sure,
Like
for sure.
shame on the NFL, even the NBA when they came back. They played some exhibition games before the real game started. Like I still think the
Hmm.
NFL should have done something.
They
Like
should have had something, at least
'cause
like joint practices. They should have done something because that was
it
ugly.
was crazy sloppy.
Because we can, speaking on that, we can just roll right on to it with the Saints Bucks game. I did not sign up to see God doggone Aaron Brooks versus Jameis Winston. Like part, I thought I was watching Tom Brady versus Drew Brees, and they look like two 45-year-old quarterbacks
Yeah,
that
they
didn't
most
know
definitely look their age.
NFL. Brees missed like three passes in a row. I haven't seen that in the Saints uniform since like 2005, like pre-Katrina days. So I was confused. Tom Brady looked like, I don't know who he looked like. That wasn't the real Tom
Tom Brady
Brady.
forgot how to read coverages.
Like it was just absolutely ugly.
Gronk was a no show.
Gronk looked like he was running in like quicksand all night. So I think he has to get his football legs back. I mean, he hasn't played in a
Hey,
good
but
little
shout out to
minute.
y'all's defense though. Y'all defense was flying around out there.
Best defense in the league. Nah, not really. But I mean, I would say we have first round picks like basically all throughout the defense. It's about time they start doing something. Cameron Jordan, Sheldon Rankins, even though Davenport was hurt, Lattimore. I want to say Jenkins was an early second, Marcus Williams early second. So like the talent's there. They
And don't
just
forget, y'all took Jenkins back from us, Malcolm Jenkins,
I
and
wasn't
he's
even
a
talking
first
about
round
that
pick.
Jenkins. He's the first round. I forgot that Jenkins. Two Jenkins
Yep.
on the defense. So the talent's there. We just like individual talent. They can't not cohesive yet. But week one they look the best I've seen them like in a long time. So shout out to Jack Rabbit, pick six on Brady. 1-0.
And see, I thought the Bucks would actually have a slight advantage, being in the
Mm-hmm.
fact that they were playing in a Superdome with no fans, and that's one of these stadiums where you guys have like one of the best, home field advantage because of the sound. So I bet, or I thought, I was like, man, the Bucks are gonna go in here because they don't have that noise. Tom Brady's gonna be Tom Brady,
Mm-hmm.
and he was not.
And that's
Like,
one thing. Like on third downs and stuff, like I'm in my room, like throwing my hat, like, oh, it's no fans. Like they're not gonna get loud. It's so seeing the Superdome quiet is like it's awkward. That's very awkward. You never see that. Even like ever. Even when we're trash, like you didn't see the Superdome quiet.
that's true.
But
But at least your team got a win though. My
mm,
team had to go and
mm,
basically play two separate games. Like the first half, we were we were unstoppable. the first half, I was probably saying, hey, we might not win the Super Bowl, but we're at least making it to the NFC Championship if we play like this. Like, we were up 17-0. And then out of nowhere, here comes Washington scoring 27 unanswered points. Like, Carson Wentz went from an MVP in the first half to a first-round bust in the second half. Injuries all across the board. We lost our offensive tackle. We lost our backup offensive tackle. So our third offensive tackle, who's a rugby player, who's playing like his first. I think this is his first actual NFL game. He came in and he had to play. We had our backup guard in. We had both our backup running backs in because Miles Sanders wasn't playing. Alshon Jeffrey isn't playing, so we had rookie wide receivers in. We lost 2 D linemen. One, Curry just got put on IR. Graham's in concussion protocol. All of our linebackers are new and young. Our defensive backs, they're all in new positions. Like, the second half was a mess.
Yeah, because I don't want to get on Carson Wentz, but like I said, we call it pre-production. He lost me my fantasy league, and I was hurt. I have him in 3 leagues out of 5 too. And like first half of my fantasy leagues, I was projected to win every last league, and then all of a sudden, I think he finished negative. So like he had 16 in the first half, he finished with like 14 total for me. Like after the second half, and I was.
And it was great in the first half. Like Goddard was basically unguardable in the first half. He hit Rager on that long 55-yard pass down the field. I think in the first half, if he had connected on 2 missed throws, he missed 1 throw to D-Jack, where I think maybe D-Jack was just a stride behind. And then the third that he missed to Rager, I just think he just overthrew Rager on that one. If we had, hit on those 2, even if Washington came back, like I think we would have been all right. But, once you give a team a momentum and you give them momentum early enough in the game, it all goes downhill.
I have to figure out if it's y'all's offensive line or all that invested in the D-line for Washington paid off. Because 8 sacks is a lot. And they have Allen, Young. They have
Allen, Young, Sweat, Ionitis, or however you say his name. Like it's
they D-line looked imposing to say the least, especially that second half.
And I won't put it since there were 8 sacks, so I'm gonna split it up. I'm gonna say 4 on the offensive line and 4 were just on Wentz, just not getting rid of the ball. I think he's still a little timid to run, just because he knows like everyone always calls him injury prone and he just doesn't want to get hurt. But when he should have won the MVP the year we won the Super Bowl, like he was running, he was moving side to side, extending plays. Like that's what works for him. So I think he needs to do that and just be smart, like just slide, get out of bounds, different things like that, and he'll be all right.
So I was telling Courtney when we were watching the game or whatever before the game, he needs to learn how to do the Drew Brees and Tom Brady. If your running back's in the backfield blocking, just throw it at his ankles. Like don't even take the sack. Throw it at his ankles. It's not going to be intentional grounding. All the old quarterbacks do it. Like why can't the young guys just figure out, oh wait, it's a running back blocking, it's a tight end blocking. Let me just throw it at their feet right quick.
Because they ain't playing that old school football.
Exactly. Like they're not taking any sacks. So Drew Brees did it like 3 times this past week. Like, rush coming, throw it at the ankles.
Yeah, Tom Brady did it once, but I think it was McCoy he was throwing to. He was just a little bit too far up the field and got that intentional grounding.
Yeah. I mean, because you're going to get sacked anyway, you might as well take the chance of throwing it straight to the ground. Now, don't try to float it up like Joe Burrow did. I don't know if you saw that. Just shovel past it right to the defense. Let's not try that.
But I mean, I guess with all this terrible quarterback play, we can at least talk about one of the quarterbacks that was absolutely phenomenal and basically picked up where he left off last year.
Taysom Hill, right?
I mean, hey, he did start your game off with that first play. But no, we got to talk about the reigning, Super Bowl, champ, Patrick Mahomes. And, the Chiefs came out. They were one of the few teams that actually looked like preseason or not, they were right there. They plugged in whatever new pieces they had, and they just kept on going. The Texans, they missed D-Hop.
Bad. They have a bunch of speed receivers. Shout out to the speed receivers, though. But when you have all those speed receivers, you need someone that can work underneath, work intermediate, and they just – tight ends aren't doing it. Like, Cooks is definitely not doing it. Fuller's not doing it. Kenny Stills not doing it. I thought Randall Cobb maybe would do it, but I didn't even see him. He was a ghost. I don't even know.
Yeah, it's true. I don't think he even started playing much until like the game was kind of out of hand.
So like they definitely miss Hopkins, and he threw the shade on Twitter with a couple of tweets at him and stuff like that. Talking
I mean,
about
granted,
thankful
yeah, they
and
traded for
grateful.
David Johnson, and David Johnson had an okay game, but not
It
compared
wasn't
to
on
what
the offense.
D-Hop had. He had, what,
Yep.
15 catches, like 150 some odd yards?
Yep. And that's against the 49ers too. That's not a slouch defense. I
Right.
didn't expect them to win that game at all.
I ain't
Like,
either.
when I was watching, kind of following the score, I'm like, oh, they're still in this game. 49ers the pull away. 49ers the pull away. Nope, never did. So
So
I mean,
it's crazy. Like, Patrick Mahomes was out there doing everything that we keep saying quarterbacks shouldn't do. Then
yeah.
you've got, your classmate, your alma mater, out there as a rookie, tearing up the Texans defense.
Mm-hmm.
The one, Sammy Watkins, like, he's usually the most inconsistent receiver that the Chiefs had, and he was the most consistent and most productive that day.
Yep. I guess it's so much attention on Tyreek, Kelsey, now Clyde, obviously Mahomes. It's like, hey, Sammy, you're gonna get all the one-on-one coverage in the world. Like every week, it's gonna be one-on-one with probably the second or third best corner. Like you have to win that matchup every week. He should kill every week. So
And most of the time,
I'm
he's
not
going to be
surprised.
bigger than them anyway.
Yep. And he looked quicker this week. He always hurt, be beat
Yeah,
up,
that's
but
true.
this week he looked a little quick. I'm like, okay, Sammy Watt. I mean, I'm glad they're in the AFC, so I can kind of watch from a distance and not really worry about them
That's
unless
true.
they come see us in the Super Bowl because the Saints will be there.
Well, that's your since you want to go into prediction. So just after,
Uh,
and granted, it's week one. It's only one game. Anything could change. And someone that's 1-0 this week is guaranteed not to make the playoffs. Someone that's
that's a
0-1
fact.
is guaranteed to make the playoffs. Like, it's gonna happen. But
Mm-hmm.
just after what you saw in week one, who are your top three leading MVP candidates right now?
All right, number 3, we're gonna go with Elvin Kamara. My guy. We're 1-0. Just got his big contract, a couple
Mm-hmm.
touchdowns. Didn't run the ball as well, but 2 touchdowns, a victory. I think we're gonna have a great record. So if we finish, 13-3 years, 12-4, he's gonna be up there if he's our best player. Especially with Michael Thomas getting hurt, gonna miss a couple weeks. So it's about to be axe season all day. Number 2. See, I was going back and forth with number 2.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm gonna go with a mixture. I tied, so I really have 4. Mixture of Hopkins and TJ Watt. Those are
Okay.
my number 2 guys. Hopkins, we already talked about him, 15 for 150 plus, 1-0, beat the 49ers. That's off to a great start. And TJ Watt was he was everywhere. I think he
That's
had like a
true.
half sack, a pick. Like he's all over the field. And my number 1, the Mahomes before Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers. I don't know where he came from or what he decided to do this week, but he decided to turn, hey, Mahomes, I was you before there was, a Mahomes. So
That's
he's my
true.
number 1 guy right now. He had a 4 touchdown day. I mean, you can also throw him and Devontae Adams in there, honestly, because they both
Yeah, if
went
Aaron
crazy.
Rodgers is gonna have a huge year, then Devontae Adams is
It's
about to have a
also a
huge year.
quarterback lead. So, I give the nod to Rodgers week 1 so far. What about you?
So it's funny that you said TJ Watt, because he's actually my number 3. And I think he's definitely primed to win Defensive Player of the Year. But the reason
Mm-hmm.
why, and we all know it's hard for defensive players to win MVP.
Yeah.
But why I think he has a great chance, minus the fact that his last name is Watt, is the fact that Pittsburgh got Ben Roethlisberger back. Now
Mm-hmm.
that Big Ben's back, they're it was a little rocky in the beginning. He hadn't played football in almost a year. Everyone didn't know how he was going to respond, from the surgery that he had. But with the way that he responded in the second half or in the second quarter, all the way through the rest of the game, like, Pittsburgh looked like a offense that you're going to have to worry about. Washington actually stepped up, so Juju's not going to have to be the only receiver out there.
Mm-hmm.
They've got some younger pieces also. James Conner wasn't really hitting it, but Benny Snell came in and
Ran
he
for
was
like
tearing it up.
120 or something. Yeah.
Yeah. So if the Steelers offense can actually, put up some points, extend some drives, keep the ball out of the defense's hand for just a little bit longer, let them catch their breath and stuff. I think that
Mm-hmm.
Pittsburgh defense is going to, benefit from that. And TJ Watt is someone that's definitely going to benefit from that.
Especially if their run defense keeps being as starters. I know Barkley at one point like 7 carries for 6 yards or something
Right.
crazy.
Like, they were basically
Like,
daring Jones, hey,
mm-hmm.
Saquon's not beating us today except on that one pass,
Well, he went
that one
crazy.
screen.
He
But
went just
Saquon's
crazy.
gonna give you a play like that every game.
Mm,
One play a game.
that's
So,
true.
but they were like, Jones beat us. And he was doing pretty good in the first half, but
Mm-hmm.
he just couldn't sustain it. So my number 2 person is actually from that Vikings Packers game, but it's from the losing team, and it's Dalvin Cook.
Mhm.
And the reason I say that is, one, granted, most people usually play hardest, in years where they're trying to get paid.
Of
Those
course.
prove it years are like, hey, I'm going out there. That's when everyone usually has their best season. So even though he got paid before the game, I still think that he's going to be out there to prove that, hey, most running backs, once they get paid, they're not the same. So
Hmm.
I think he's going out there to prove that, hey, one, we all know Kirk's going to be Kirk. There are going to be times where he's going to make some great throws. There are going to be times where he's going to make some questionable decisions. And if you saw, like, in the Vikings, they started off with like two pass plays, and then they had like 8 straight run plays.
Hmm.
So I think Dalvin Cook is going to be a huge part of that offense, especially in the end zone, or in the red zone, I should say. And he'll get into the end zone, and then he'll almost have a Derrick Henry type year where he's going to be that main focal point of the offense going forward.
I
Oh,
can see
and
it. I
then
can see it.
my number one person, I'm not throwing Mahomes in there,
I
and I'm
didn't
not
have it.
throwing Lamar in there because they're number one,
Yeah,
like,
that's why I kind of left them out because
basically
they're
without
gonna be.
knowing, or basically without having to say. So
Hmm.
my number one, not counting them, is Carson Wentz.
Who? Who?
I'm gonna
And
tell you why.
no. We said MVPs, like the best players in the league, not
Yep,
guys that losing to football.
yep. And I'm gonna tell you why. So here's what's gonna happen. Carson's gonna have to dig into his bag just like he did last year. Because right now it's already showing that offensive line. Well, granted, we didn't have Lane Johnson, but Jason Peters is like 7,000 years old. Jason Kelsey's getting older. We don't have Brandon Brooks in there. Hopefully, Sanders can return from his hamstring injury. The defensive line, their only problem is they can never stay healthy, and then the rest of the defense is young. So Carson's going to have to carry this team. So he's going to have to dig in, make the right decisions, the smart decisions, the better decisions, and get into the same mind frame that he was at the last 4 or 5 games of last season. And then boom, he's going to do that. Everybody's going to see, oh wow, so he's the reason that the Eagles are back in the playoffs. I don't even care if we're in as a 7th seed, since boom, that's a new thing this year. So he's going to get the team back into the playoffs, and everyone's gonna give him his due. He's gonna play all 16 games again, and then he's gonna be all right. I'm telling you right now, this is gonna be one of his worst games of the season. He'll have one more bad game like this season, guaranteed. But the other 14 games, he's gonna be on point.
Oh, you done? My bad. Took a nap. It was some nonsense going on. I thought I was dream. I just had
Hey,
a dream that somebody said that Wentz was the MVP.
hey,
I
go
don't
big or
know.
go home. That's what
People,
it
people
is.
are people are crazy these days. So now that we got that craziness out the way, who's your top three for Rookie of the Year? We're already
So,
over the. Oh God, Wentz.
hey, I did not think that Hilaire was gonna be running the football like that in the NFL.
I did, but that's a different story.
Like, the man, he's what, 5'7", 5'8"?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I really thought he was going to be more of a change of pace, style back.
Little
But then I had
scrolls.
to remember that he's the type of running back that fits best in an Andy Reid offense. He's like that Brian Westbrook, LaShawn
Exactly.
McCoy. He's short, but he's stout. Like, he can
Mm-hmm.
he can catch the ball, he can run in between the tackles, but he can also bounce it outside. He's got speed, around the perimeter. And I think he showed a lot of people why they came back, or why they drafted him in the first round. Why a lot of fantasy leagues even said, hey, he could be the number one, fantasy pick.
Mm-hmm.
So he definitely proved that in the first game. Teams are going to be focused on stopping Mahomes. So rarely you're going to see defenses that are stacking the box trying to stop the run.
Never.
So he's going to have a great season. Like, for him, he just needs to make sure that Mahomes stays healthy. As long as
Yep.
Mahomes stays healthy, then he'll have a tremendous year. He's going to be in the Rookie of the Year conversation. After that, Joe Burrow.
That so you're going 1-2 or that was 3-2 or
That was
how
3-2.
oh 3-2. Oh, okay.
Joe Burrow was out there actually, as we were saying in the group, making people actually want to watch a Cincinnati Bengals football game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, now I know AJ Green was happy, even though AJ Green put up good numbers, or great numbers, when Andy Dalton was there. But Joe Burrow, just in his first game, he gave you a sense like, hey, if we're ever close, we have a chance. Like, he's
Mm-hmm.
gonna win. Like, he ran, I forgot how long it was at least like a 15 yard
It's
rushing
like
touchdown that he had.
23, I think, something like
You know,
that.
at the end of the game, he almost had that touchdown pass to AJ Green, but
Should have.
he still drove them down the field, and they didn't lose the game because of him.
Mm-hmm.
They, once again, it all comes down to a kicker, someone that has one job, and it's probably the most stressful job in clutch situations.
Yeah, but not 30 yards. Jesus
Like,
Christ.
it's just, I just can't believe it. But he played a good game. Granted, he's gonna make some rookie mistakes. It's bound to happen, especially at the quarterback position. But quarterback's
Mm-hmm.
also the easiest position to win Rookie of the Year.
Yep.
And with him being the number one overall pick, I just think that it's almost a no brainer. So as long as he plays well, the Bengals don't even have to have a winning record. But as long as he plays
That's a
well,
fact. That's a fact.
you know, he's gonna be all right. Now
Here we go with this
here's my
nonsense.
here's my pick for number one. My pick for number one is not someone on the Eagles,
Okay.
but it's not a specific player. My pick for number one is just going to be a wide receiver. I just don't know yet which wide receiver. Because here's the thing: CeeDee Lamb played really well in the game against the Rams. Now, one thing he's gonna have to get used to is that this ain't the Big 12. Like, he's gonna be going up against defenses, people that are gonna press you up against the line. If you're going across the middle, they're going to hit you. Like, you're not gonna have this open space. But the Cowboys just have way too many weapons for people to just solely focus on him. And then, granted, yes, we have Rager. I really think the biggest thing for him is he's either going to be going deep or he's going to be, catching screens and doing what he does with screens. You got Jefferson with the Vikings. You've got Judy with the Broncos. And so many of these guys are playing, high snaps, I was about to say high minutes, but high snaps. They were starting. They had productive first games. So I think a wide receiver has a bona fide potential to be, Rookie of the Year. And yeah, and it is kind of weird that all three of my rookies are on the offensive side. I was gonna give Chase Young a nod, but he sacked my quarterback and forced a fumble, so he had to miss out on the top three rookies this week because he didn't play nice. So he
I
didn't get a nod.
understand. I understand. My top three was, you actually said them all. But if I'm picking, if I'm picking the Rookie of the Year, it's Joe Burrow. I'm picking him. It's easy. That's that's my pick to win. But if I'm going off this past week, at number 3 is Joe Burrow. Like you said, let him back down the field after he threw an interception. Put him in position really through the game-winning touchdown, but AJ Green gave him a little push off. So that's not on him. He put the ball on the money. That's what Joe Burrow do, from the boot. He officially from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. So, I'm not shocked what he did. Number 2, which I think he may have looked the best out of all of the rookies, Chase Young. Because my man was, I don't know if it was the Eagles offensive line or he's just, all the hype is just, he's living up to it already. I think a sack and a half, a forced fumble.
Bro, those are Ohio State defensive ends. I don't know what's going on there, but they've been cranking them out these past couple of years.
If you get a sack and a half and a forced fumble every week, you'll be the MVP.
Oh, most definitely.
You'll be the MVP of the league. So that was a great week to start. He played the worst offensive line in the league. So there's that. And then obviously number 1, another LSU Tiger, Clyde. Hilarious. It just couldn't get better for week 1 for anybody almost. Like even a running back, not even a rookie. Got Mahomes, Tyreek. So it's gonna be 2 safeties every time you touch the ball. Easy holes to run through. Your job is just to hit the holes, make somebody miss like he did on the one play you'll score. It's really not that hard. The one thing I didn't like was they kept trying to force my man in the goal line, knowing he's like 5'6", to try to get those goal line carries, and he was like 0 for 8. So it kind of messed up his yards per carry.
Right.
He was having a great game, and you gave like 6 carries on the goal line for like -1 yard. They should have just went to the other LSU back, but that's a different story. So yeah, that's my top 3 rookies. So far, I think Joe Burrow's going to end up winning it though, because he's just too good, honestly.
All right. So going into week 2, Saints, y'all got the Raiders Monday night.
Yes, sir. First time in what's it called? The new little stadium over there. I don't know the name of it. First time in the Raiders stadium. About to leave with a victory. That's easy right there. That's easy.
Even with
victory.
The way they played against the Panthers?
Even the way they played against the Panthers, we won't have Michael Thomas. I just don't care. Drew Brees had a bad week. Every time he has a bad week, I know it's in store for the next week. So the Raiders, they're just walking in hot water, right? It's gonna be ugly. I think we'll win by 17, honestly.
Okay, all right. So
17-point victory.
We've got the Rams, and
that's a loss. That's a loss.
Here's the thing. We gotta have if Lane Johnson's not back this game, I don't see a way that we win it unless we just absolutely have the most tremendous game plan. Because you saw what Aaron Donald did to the Cowboys offensive line.
Okay. Okay.
And after seeing that, I was not too happy.
I don't know who's blocking him, like on the Eagles. I'm sorry, Kelsey's
on the interior. Kelsey, he's agile, but he's not a power center.
I saw him get blown back like 7 yards in a video today. I don't think he wants to see Aaron Donald right now.
Like it's gonna be interesting. And then I don't think Alshon's gonna be back because if Alshon was back, he'd be easy to say, all right, Ramsey's gonna be on Alshon, so that opens it up for the rest of our receivers. Now, if Alshon's not there, Ramsey's obviously gonna be lined up against whoever's on the outside. I don't know if that's going to be Rager or Arcega-Whiteside. Even if he's lined up against Jackson, Jackson's got the speed. The only thing is if Ramsey's, if he presses him at the line, then, he's going to win that. But if Jackson can beat him off the line, then, all right, so that'd be a good one-on-one matchup to look at. Outside of that, our corners played well. So I'm not too worried about, Robert Woods. Cooper Kupp, he could have a good game. Right. So it just depends on who the Slay cover. Does Slay cover Robert Woods or does he cover, Cooper Kupp? I think he'll probably start off on Kupp, and then depending on how the game goes, he might stay on Kupp or move to somebody else. And then really, I don't know how our D-line is going to do because we've got all these injured people. Fletch is going to show up every week, but outside of him, like, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if we're going to get Derek Barnett back. Like, we're starting off the year with half our team just hurt. So
is it panic mode if y'all lose?
It depends on how we lose.
Okay.
If we lose by – so here's the thing. If we lose by, I'll say 10 or less. If we lose by 10 or less, it's not necessarily panic mode. But looking at the schedule for next week, the Giants play the Bears. The Bears played well against the Lions. Trubisky actually looked like a quarterback. So the Giants could potentially lose that game. The Cowboys are playing – let's see who the Cowboys are playing.
Cowboys playing the Falcons. Now that's panic mode for somebody. Whoever loses is in panic mode.
Yes, but I think the Falcons have an edge in that game because the Rams did a great job running against the Cowboys. And we all know that, Todd Gurley's back – or not back, but he's back in his hometown, but he's playing for the Falcons. And they had 300-yard receivers. Granted, they kind of need to throw the ball to even try and get back into that game, but still.
Trash.
And the Cowboys' secondary isn't the same as it was last year.
How about
and then the Cowboys lost some players too.
For me, so we're on the opposite ends of the spectrum here. You're going to be rooting for the Falcons because the Cowboys in your division. I'm going to be rooting for the Cowboys.
And Washington's going up against Arizona. Both teams 1-0. But with the way Arizona played against the 49ers, that might be a tough game. For Washington.
I call panic mode game, which the Panthers and Bucks. Whoever loses that, they're going to be in. I wouldn't say the Panthers are really in panic mode, but I'm sure they're thinking of making the playoffs this year. Just got Teddy B, signed Robbie Anderson, got Joe Brady from LSU. Lost, I think, by 3 or 4 to the Raiders. And then you got the Bucks, who obviously they have Super Bowl goals with.
Well, and then the difference is, the Panthers didn't look bad against the Raiders. The Bucks look bad. So if the Panthers do lose, but it's a close loss, I don't know if it'll necessarily be panic, but it'll definitely be panic if the Bucks start 0-2. Because if you start 0-2, and if let's say the Saints are 2-0, you're down 2-0 to the team that everyone expects to win.
And you already got a division loss too. So like that'll.
Might as well say you're 2.5 games back from them.
And then a game I'm interested in is the Patriots-Seahawks. That's probably the one I'll keep an eye on. That's Sunday night, too. I want to see what Bill Belichick – this is the first test. I didn't care about the Dolphins as much. But the first real test without Brady will be against the Seahawks.
It's going to be interesting because the Patriots still don't have necessarily weapons. Granted, they got Edelman. And I don't know if their weapons were even put on display against the Dolphins, but the game was still kind of close until towards the end. So I think that game's either really going to show that, hey, we can do this thing with what we got, or after that game, Belichick might be looking at that waiver wire, seeing, all right, who's out here, who can I pick up, and do his famous in-season trades, and go on a nice little run.
I heard Odell was on the block, so you never know.
Right. If you pair Odell with Cam,
you meant to Odell with Drew Brees?
and then
Yeah.
you pair Odell with Josh McDaniels, because you could
Odell
tell
with
Josh
Sean
McDaniels is having a
Payton.
little bit of fun with those play calls.
He couldn't wait. Cam had like 15 carries. Like, slow down, Josh. He
He
never
said,
could call.
I couldn't do this with Tom.
What?
Like
What a quarterback power. What? Yeah, man. So he couldn't do it.
teams in the last 20 years have not had to have a spy when playing against the Patriots,
I
and they're about to
also
have to
feel
start
bad.
spying.
Time out. Y'all in overtime right now, bro, and I got you out here.
Yeah, we in overtime.
Like I've been like following on my phone, and I think Jimmy just hit a dagger on y'all. I know this is not a basketball pod, however.
Well,
I
we're
think
probably gonna be talking about some basketball here soon because Nuggets and Clippers just started, and then if the Clippers, hopefully they win this game because I really want to see Clippers and Lakers. If the Nuggets win this game, Lakers got the easiest route to the finals.
I'm looking at though. Are you watching the game or
No, I'm just
following it?
following the score right
Are
now.
you nervous then?
Yeah, when the game's close like that, and if I haven't been watching it, then
Can't watch it.
I don't jinx it.
I'm the same way. So we gonna end this pod by live reaction to this play-by-play. Since we're already here. I mean, we might as well.
Might as well.
Because there's 12 seconds left in the OT. Jimmy with an and one because Jimmy Buckets is Jimmy Buckets, and I don't like what I saw for y'all. Bam Adebayo blocks Jason Tatum's driving dunk. Bam Adebayo, defensive rebound. Now, I know we're watching the play-by-play. If they foul him, that's a good foul.
That is.
If you can hurry and foul him before he gets the ball.
The only problem is we don't have any timeouts.
That's not good. I didn't see that up there. See,
now, the same
tweet.
thing happened against the Raptors where we didn't have a timeout. Tatum threw it all the way down court to Smart.
I keep saying, hold on. I think something happened here. Hold on. My texts are going too crazy for a block shot. I don't know. Ain't no way they're going this crazy over a block. Oh, he missed the first one. Maybe they don't tell me they did some wow.
Now, if I were Bam, I would miss the second one on purpose. You're gonna waste way more time than just making it and allowing them to inbound it.
Oh no, I guess they were going crazy over that block. He must have been a hell of a block because they were going too many oh my gods in my group message for like a regular block. He must have.
Oh, he made the free throw. It's a 3-point game with 2.5 seconds left.
As soon as they catch the ball, I'm tackling you. You're not getting a shot up. I'm sorry. Jason Tatum missed his shot. See, I have a tweet in the tuck. This is not good for me because I have a tweet from 2017, I believe, that says 2020 Lakers Celtics final. So they can't ruin that for me because I've been waiting to break it back out. Freezing cold takes once again. Another prediction. I tweeted 3 years ago. I need that. So I need that to happen.
So it's the Eastern Conference Finals. In the game one, we lose 117-114.
Damn, that's what you hate to see. I hate
but
the Celtics, so I don't really.
Here's my thing. I said we were going to beat the Heat in 6. We're still on pace to beat them in 6.
I thought in an overtime game for sure y'all had no chance. Y'all just the series was too tough last time. The legs aren't even shaking back yet while Heat were just chilling and practicing. Mm-hmm. So the longer the game went, I think the only way y'all could have won game one if y'all blew them out, honestly. Because it's a close game. They're just fresher. So that's what the Clippers Nuggets are going to run into when they play the Lakers. So we'll see. And I need to watch this Clipper Nuggets game because, Jokic is the best player in the world. So we got to see what's popping with it. Oh, what's happening over here?
All right. So on that note, we thank you all for tuning in. Like I said, at least by episode 75, we'll have a name for this.
Yeah, something like that.
And as you saw, we're going to be talking mainly football and basketball. We'll probably talk about some other things, definitely golf. When the Olympics happen, we'll be hitting the Olympics. But obviously that won't be till 2021. So, hey, just stick around. Let us know in the comment what your favorite team is, how they perform, how you felt like they performed. Who are your top 3 MVPs and rookies at this time?
Who that said they're going to beat them Saints? Who that said they're going to beat them Saints?
All right, we'll catch y'all next week, all right?
Deuces.